He did hate on Jeremiah. It's sabotaging some of the couples. Why are you hating on the fact that he actually had a real connection?
How I feel about it is type came through the door, zooming in on one person, and it's repeating a cycle.
Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Chic Hair Chic TV, and we're about to get into this recap of Love Island Season 7, Episode 18. Y'all, this was the episode that was not only boring, but it was the episode of the villain, okay? I really just want to say, as much as I don't like Huda, I do feel like she is aware of what she was doing. She's aware of how she treated people. And, you know, at the end of the day, she wants everyone to know, like, she wants a new story. So in the beginning of this episode, Huda is sitting with Sierra and Shelly, basically telling them, hey, I want to rewrite my wrongs. I want a new fresh start. And I think that's exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to get to know more people. She's trying to take her hand at Pepe and TJ. But at the end of the day, the bigger question is, can we believe her and can we trust her? But I do love the fact that there is more to Huda than we see. I think America sees something else, but for me, I don't know. I feel like she's still the same, but I am going to give her the opportunity to redeem herself. I also enjoyed Iris and Jeremiah having their conversation. If you see the relationship between Iris and Jeremiah, you automatically know that their relationship is definitely platonic. And Iris points that out to Jeremiah, just letting him know, like, I think we have more of a friend vibe. They definitely had a moment when Iris kind of explained she made out with TJ, and Jeremiah says he made out with Andrina. And I really enjoyed that they were honest with each other. I enjoyed that no one got upset. And it was nice to see, because normally when someone tells another person that they don't like this person, they have a full-blown meltdown. I won't say I was excited to see Jeremiah and his relationship with Andrina play out, but we all know by now Jeremiah went home. And it was so unexpected, because when we look at it, Jeremiah and Andrina really had a great relationship. They looked great together. I feel like he did exactly what the house wanted him to do, which was explore other options. But for some reason, Jeremiah is always painted out to be this bad guy. I don't know why. And they sent him home packing. We're gonna stop right there, because I'm gonna get more into it. But when we do talk about everybody kind of addressing their relationships, we have Nick and Sierra. They sat down, and Sierra asks Nick how did he feel about the other night, and Nick was actually happy that, you know, they had sex, and Sierra was too. But Nick was being honest with Sierra, letting her know, like, hey, I like you, but at the same time, I want to explore Andrina. You know, I like her personality, and it did not go well for Sierra. Like, Sierra's basically letting Nick know, like, watching her kiss you and watching you interact with someone else does not make me feel good. I don't know if we should be upset with Nick or if we should be on Nick's side, because honestly, at this point, I do feel like Nick and Sierra should be locked in. Him not being locked in with anyone, like, honestly, anyone not being locked in is really like a red flag. I feel like other seasons, people were already locked in. We were getting more of an emotional roller coaster from people. Granted, they're not locked in, but I do see that Sierra is upset. She even spoke with Shelly about it. And when she spoke with Shelly, she was basically letting Shelly know, like, I don't want to cry. These are the things that I'm going through. And, you know, I am really trying to fight this. She's like, I guess it's not okay for me to put all my eggs in one basket. And I totally agree with her. I feel like she has an opportunity to get to know at least Pepe, but, you know, because of Hannah being on Pepe so quick, that's really not an option. I thought she would be interested in TJ, but I don't think that's an option, because TJ's interested in Iris. So I do want to see what happens with Sierra, because I think there is an opportunity for her to find someone who is definitely about her. I don't feel like Nick is really in it for her, and I am really surprised. Like, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next with Sierra, because right now it's just not giving. And, you know, I think she's just not in a situation right now where she even wants to talk about it. Huda, out of all people, even asked Sierra, what's wrong? Do you want to talk? And she did not want to talk. And I totally agree that she needs her space and she needs the time to kind of think about what is going on and how she's moving. But honestly, I expected Huda to be the last person Sierra talks to about this. Yeah, because Sierra's going to vote Huda off. So pretty much the next day, everybody gets their breakfast how they normally get their breakfast. Jeremiah makes Andrina breakfast. TJ comes upstairs with like 4 cups of tea for everybody, including Sierra. And you have Nick who comes upstairs. And the night before, Nick and Sierra were going to cuddle, but Sierra's like, no, you're hot, and she turns over. So Nick took that as, you know what, let's just start a new day. And he brings her breakfast and tea. He literally takes TJ's tea, and this is like the second time he's done this, but he takes TJ's tea away from Sierra. Now, in my mind, I'm like, well, you don't want things closed off with her. Why are you stopping her from having this interaction with TJ? Like, I feel like he's literally getting in the middle of the relationship she's trying to develop instead of really closing things off with her. Like, yes, it's nice that you make her tea and breakfast, but like, you don't want to close things off and you still want to explore. So continue to explore and let things be that. So I am really concerned about where Nick's head's at. Nick even goes have a conversation with Ace, and he basically talks about what happens between them, and it was nice to see that he was honest with Ace, but Ace is letting him know, like, listen, sex changes everything, and the fact that y'all did that, the whole dynamic is going to change. Like, Nick, I think, is really in a little bit of denial that Sierra doesn't care. But if you look at her and you see her body movements and you actually take the time to acknowledge her feelings, you'll realize that she did care. And I don't like the way Nick is moving. I think he needs to move a little bit smarter because right now he's not. And I just think either Nick can go ahead and get out the house and someone else can be there for Sierra, or I don't know, or like make it real with Sierra. Like, he needs to make a choice, and right now he's not doing that. I don't think anybody's doing that. So I also like the conversation that Olandria had with Amaya, basically letting Amaya know, like, fall back. Like, you don't need to be all over Austin. Give him his space, because Austin is literally telling Amaya one thing and telling other people another thing. Like, either you like the girl or you don't. So I actually don't think Amaya had a fair chance in this house. Like, I feel like she generally is herself, and people are not used to that. At first, Austin was in this love triangle and he wasn't getting the attention that he wanted from Shelly. And I think he's still a little hurt by that. So I do think it's affected the relationship that Austin and Amaya does have. Now, did Amaya take Olandria's advice? No, she did not. So that same night, I seen Amaya and Austin cuddling in the bed. And then the next morning, when Austin was cleaning the pool, she was cheering on Austin like, clean the pool, you're so sexy. And it's like, I get it, Amaya doesn't want to hold back, but it is kind of sad to watch Amaya, like, go through what she's going through when someone's not paying any attention to her. Like, I get it. You like him, but maybe it's time for you to move on as well. Maybe it's time for you to just be open to exploring other people, because at the same time, he's not giving you the energy that you want. Austin, I don't know. I think he's just there as well, just to be there. And I would not be upset if Austin went home. I don't see him even trying to make other connections. He tried to make those 2 connections with Shelly and Amaya, and once he got with Amaya, he just like totally is disregarding her. So I don't know what Austin's plan is, but I would not mind voting Austin off either. So we're getting ready for the night, and, you know, I see Olandria does something sweet for Taylor. Now, in my mind, I'm like, I don't understand why she even did this little date thing on the dock for Taylor, because I don't see Taylor even trying. When Taylor is talking to Olandria, one, their conversations are so mid. It's so normal, I guess. Like, I don't see them getting in deep conversation. Like, they talked about their grandparents having these fruit trees and how they really enjoyed, you know, their upbringing, and they talked about what fruits they like and don't like. Like, that's great, but I just don't think Taylor likes Olandria. And with Casa Amor being on the horizon, literally tonight, I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't feel like Taylor is really into it. I think he's playing it safe. And I think Olandria is really blinded by how much she likes Taylor. Like, I get it. He's a country boy. He rides horses. You know, he might be different from a lot of guys you may have dated. He has dreads. Everybody like a little dreadhead. But I just don't feel like he's into it with her. I do feel like Olandria should have went with Jalen. You know, I feel like she would have gotten that energy back the way Jalen was trying to give it to her. But no, people like to chase what they can't have. And I do think she knows Taylor does not like her, and that's why she did this cute little date on the dock. But it's like, other than the yoga thing that Taylor did for her, what else have you planned for Olandria? Nothing. You have not gone out your way. And I also think that he's playing it safe and quiet in the background. And it's like, dude, it's time for you to like move to the next level. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but just like Nikki, you're gonna be all in or it's time for you to go to. So then we had TJ have the conversation with Huda. And, you know, as much as I wanted to see if someone was interested in Huda, I then realized TJ was not into Huda. Huda was questioning if he actually liked her. She was having a conversation with the girls earlier in the day, just basically saying like, I see him, I feel like we look at each other, but he's not really making a move on me. So in Huda's mind, she's like, most guys, when they meet me, they instantly fall in love with me. And the reality to it was, he did not fall in love with her. He did not like her, and he let her know, like, hey, I see this as a platonic relationship. I haven't really caught a vibe. And what really made me cringe was Huda asking him why. Can I ask you why it's not gonna work? And he didn't have an answer for her. And I feel like Huda just should have took what he said and went with it and said, okay, I understand, and kept it moving. For her to constantly question why someone does not like her, it does make me think she does not know her self-worth. Like, I don't care how pretty a girl might look or feel. Deep down inside, you know you have some insecurities. And sometimes the prettiest of the pretty actually show that on the outside. So, I don't know. I feel like Huda has it good for herself, but I don't think she knows how good she has it. And she needs to really walk into her strength and not question herself. And that's exactly what she's been doing this whole time since leaving Jeremiah. And speaking of Jeremiah, everybody is fed up with Jeremiah, apparently. Let's say Ace is fed up with Jeremiah. Ace is like the top of the pyramid searching for every move Jeremiah makes. Ace does not like the fact that every time a girl comes in, Jeremiah locks in. And it's like, how can you be upset with Jeremiah when you all literally told him, we want you to explore, want you to stop just keeping yourself closed off, especially when it comes to Huda. And at the end of the day, when Jeremiah actually had a relationship with Andrina, you have Ace getting everybody else to complain about the fact that he had this connection. I don't understand it. Like, allow Jeremiah to lock in with someone. We are getting closer to the end, and I don't think anyone has even watched Love Island because they would have figured this is what we're here for. We're here to lock in with someone, and it's starting to make me question, why did everyone else come on the show? Why did you all decide to find love if you're not actually finding love? Because it does not make sense that none of you all are locked in except for Jeremiah, and then when he does get locked in, it's a problem. And not for nothing, I love the fact that Jeremiah does not care. You know, he still kisses Andrina, even though Huda's gonna be over there clapping and everybody's gonna be looking and giving their 2 cents. But I feel like at the end of the day, Jeremiah is playing the game exactly how it's supposed to be played. I think he's been playing it how it's supposed to be played. Granted, you know, the relationship with him and Huda wasn't quite there, but I like the fact that he was not hopping around to everybody in everybody's bed. And you have haters and you have somebody or people watching your every move and want to make sure that you slip up so they can get you out the house. So pretty much it's text time. Everybody is asked to go to the fireplace, and they hear that America has also voted for their top favorite cast members at the villa. So with all of the girls standing up, the first 4 that were safe was Olandria, Sierra, Shelly, and when Shelly went to go sit back down, Ace literally grabbed her hand to walk her back, which I thought was so cute. Again, he's playing the game how it needs to be played. He's trying to win America's heart. I don't think he is at this point. And then you had Huda at the end. And I was so surprised that Huda got chosen. My thing is, why did America vote for Huda? I'm still upset that Love Island does not let me vote because I don't understand why Huda was still there. It's time for her to go home. So the last 3 that were standing up was Hannah, Amaya, and Iris, which was weird because I feel like Amaya should have never been up there. I feel like Hannah and Iris, why not? But like Huda definitely should have been in the bottom. But supposedly they're saying production doesn't want Huda to go home because she makes good TV. At this point, I don't think she is making good TV. I feel like they are embarrassing her at this point, and I think it's time for her to go home. So on the boys' side, we had Taylor, Nick, and Ace. And what was so funny is Huda read off Ace's name, and I was just like, that's weird. But I knew production was gonna have Huda read Ace's name because Ace doesn't like Huda, and I don't even think Huda likes Ace. She's playing the game too. So at the end of Who Was Standing Up was the pairs of the girls who was standing up. So you had Pepe, Austin, and Jeremiah. And TJ and Andrina were not involved in this elimination. And then when it was time to vote, the girls had to vote for the one girl who they wanted to vote it off, and the boys had to vote for the one boy they wanted voted off. So the girls voted off Hannah. Was it expected? Kinda, because they're like, maybe Sierra can talk to Pepe now, or Hannah can talk to Pepe now. That's what I'm thinking. And I feel like with Hannah, she's had her fair share. She's played Charlie, you know, and honestly, that still did not sit well for me. I think it was time for her to go home. Now, did I expect a bigger crash out from Hannah? I did. Like, nobody is cussing nobody out. Nobody's telling anybody off. Nobody's being real about what's going on. It's like, why are y'all keeping your mouth closed? Like, let's be real about what's happening. Y'all allowing certain things to happen on this show that should not be happening, and it's causing really good people to go instead of the people who need to go home. Don't like it, and I think hopefully Casa bring something new. Then you had Jeremiah go home. The crazy thing is when Taylor started giving his speech and was saying we had someone who was, you know, exploring, whatever the heck Taylor said, it was so funny because Jeremiah already knew he was getting sent home. What I thought was just messed up was the fact that Jeremiah has been playing the game how it needed to be played. I feel like Ace convinced Nick and Taylor to vote Jeremiah out. And it's just like, why? Why are you hating on the fact that he actually had a real connection? I think Jeremiah had the best connection with Andrina out of anybody in the villa. It was the strongest out of anybody in the villa. I don't understand why they kept Austin there, but it was time for him to go home. And I'm so sick of people saving people that don't need to be on the show anymore. Let's wrap this up because we're not getting the actual couples that we want to vote for at this point because y'all are so horned in on the fact that the people that actually have real connections, y'all want that to be broken up. You already broke up Huda and Jeremiah in the first place. Now you want to break up Jeremiah and Andrina? So now Andrina has nobody. And I don't know if Ace is allowing it so that Nick can get after Andrina or he can get after Andrina himself. But I definitely feel like Ace, I don't know what you're doing or what game you're playing. Maybe it's time for him to start eliminating his competition. But there's other people you could have eliminated. So everybody could have had a fair share. And right now, I think you're playing a really sneaking game. Like, either you're working for Love Island or you're literally just doing this to just mess up everybody's entertainment. And then lastly, when it was time for everybody to go home, Huda asks Jeremiah, like, hey, can I pull you for a chat? Everybody's hysteric at this point about everybody going home, but this last conversation really, like, cringed me as well. Huda's talking to Jeremiah, basically let him know, like, I, really care for you, and I feel so bad that you're leaving, and we had so many good times in the villa, and I appreciate you, X, Y, and Z, all these things. And at the end of all of that, Jeremiah goes, and Mr. Right will come in here at any time. Jeremiah is done with Huda. He's over it. Like, he's like, my mind was focused on Andrina to see where things went with her. And not for nothing, his dream girl was living the villa. Like, it was so sad to see Jeremiah go, and Hannah. Like, Hannah looked so bad when she left. And then, Jeremiah goes and kisses Andrina down. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I think this is the kiss that Huda thought she was getting, and she did not get. So, this episode was okay. Like, it wasn't my favorite episode, but I definitely was upset with the way that Ace was moving. I definitely don't feel like the girls picked the right one to go home. Like, I don't know where everybody's head's at. I'm like, America, y'all need to get it together too, because I am starting to see that you guys are playing a weird game that's not allowing the show to be the show. So MVP of this episode, I'm definitely going to give it to Olandria. I feel like Olandria has definitely been more of a girl's girl this episode and last episode. And I just feel like she's being real with Amaya about how she should move. I feel like she's been a little bit more real with a lot of the girls on how they should move. And not for nothing, we need a Alandria in the house because everybody is not being truthful. They're not being real. And at the end of the day, we're not here to coddle people's feelings. We're here to let them know what they need to know. Same when Alandria had a conversation with Huda, letting her know, like, you don't need to look at this man while he's walking by, staring him down, giving him, like stalker vibes. Like, be yourself. And I love that she is being that voice of reason for everybody. Best dress. I am going to give best dress to Alandria again because I love that outfit that she had on when she was walking the dock. I'm going to give it to her and Tilla because they looked so cute together. Like, I feel like they do look cute together. They image-wise, but energy-wise, I don't think they're the best fit. So, other than that, I think her body is tea. She looks good, and that dress was everything. Okay, vote them out. Y'all, I want Ace to go home. Like, I love Ace and Shelly down. Like, don't get me wrong, I love them down. But I just don't like the game that Ace is playing. Like, I feel like Ace is playing such a nasty game where it's like, dude, either you're in it or you're not. And I don't feel like you're really being real about what you're doing. Like, I feel like you're playing this game and either you think this is the best decision or you think this is the best way to move. I just don't think that is so. I feel like he did hate on Jeremiah. He is sabotaging some of the couples, which is, again, I guess fine, but it's still pretty early in the game where it's just like, dude, you don't have to play the way you're playing. Be honest and be real without being so malicious. So, yeah, I do want Ace to go home. And, maybe Shelly will find someone who actually really likes her because at the end of the day, a lot of us are thinking Shelly's more interested in girls than she is in Ace. Like, I think her and Ace is definitely playing a game that we all know that they think we don't know. Okay, you all, it is tweet time, and this is where we go look at some of the tweets on Twitter talking about last night's episode. So from KB Tyrants, we've done her before. We are never getting rid of Huda and Austin, aren't we? With the sad Elmo. Aren't we? Because I'm confused. I don't think we're getting rid of them either. Like, I feel like at this point, people just have them on the show, and nobody's paying attention. Like, no, it's time for them to go. Austin does not have a strong connection. He has not found anyone, and I don't think he will find somebody. And with Huda, you had your time. You did. I think she is a very strong woman, but I think she might be too strong for some of the men in the villa. Like, I think it's time for her to go, for sure. I do. So from Winton Mohorn, I love Shelly, but after tonight's episode, I'm telling you right now, ain't no way in hell that Shelly's gonna win. Not unless she dumps Ace's scamming ass, because Ace is not winning season 7 of Love Island USA. Like I said, he is playing a game that I don't know who is playing with him, but he's playing a nasty game. Like, for him to be all over Jeremiah, he's been on Jeremiah's back for the last 5-6 episodes, and they finally got him out the villa. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to move. And I'm definitely concerned with how he's playing. Like, everybody already thinks him and Shelly has an alliance prior to coming on the show. So I definitely want to see what's real. But hopefully producers catch on and kick him off. I don't know. Like, I like him, but I want him to go. Like, do y'all understand what I mean? From Nani Love 91. So in season 7, we have no strong couples. The sisterhood the girls speak of constantly is forced. It's cringe and ruining the show. And the guys are a bunch of petty, jealous, money-hungry snakes that can barely be trusted. What's even the point of Casa Amor? Y'all, I have no words. Like, I really don't have any words. I am definitely confused on this whole idea behind, like, everybody. Like, I don't think it needed to be that deep when it came to sisterhood and brotherhood. I love the fact that, when it came to TJ, he comes into the village. He doesn't care who's talking to who. He goes after who he wanted. I did like to see that Huda also didn't care. She's like, I'm going to try my hand at who I can try my hand at. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I do feel like we're not really getting the energy that we needed, that we got from season 6. So at first I was rooting for season 7 to be better than season 6, but I don't think it is that. Like, I think even with a lot of the girls, their relationships develop later in the house. Everybody's telling everybody their business, and it's leaving no spark of surprise. So, you know what? I definitely agree. Like, I feel like this season is not as good, and I think it's the cast who are coming in who are not making it as good. Okay, y'all, so it's time for my predictions. And you know what? Casa Amor is here. We have, I think, 4, 5 new bombshells, girls and guys. I definitely feel like Olandria is going to find somebody in Casa Amor. I feel like they are going to get this girl the man that she's been waiting for. I feel like Shelly's even going to test where her head's at, because I don't think there has been enough guys for the girls overall for them to be interested in, for them to explore. So I'm excited to see what happens. Now, as far as Huda's gonna find somebody too, and I do think it might just eliminate all of the boys that we have currently in the house. We have about maybe 13, 14, a couple more episodes left. And I do think that is more than enough time for us to kind of switch up the dynamic with the guys. As far as the guys go, Nick is going to find somebody in Casa for sure. He already told Sierra he's not closed off, and just because they had sex does not mean anything. Like, he enjoys it, he respects her, but I don't think it was enough to lock that man in, which I think is why she had sex with him. You either had sex with him to keep his attention, or you had sex with him because you liked him. But at the end of the day, I feel like you did it because you knew he was going after Andrina. And Taylor, I think Taylor might end up finding someone too. I do feel like one of the black girls he might really like. But again, there's some other women in there. Like, I think Taylor likes all flavors, okay? So I am excited to see what happens between the two, because it's going to be a time. Like, I'm excited. I want to see the development of a lot of these relationships. And you know what? If anybody's going to go home, it's going to be Ace. Like, pack it up, boo. Pack it up, because I think Shelly's definitely going to come out on top with somebody new. And I could care less who else goes home. But I just want to see these couples find somebody that they actually like. But y'all, you already know what time it is. She Care. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know where to meet me for the next recap video. And I will see y'all later. Bye.